Let's start our communication, public relations committee meeting. Um, we have our minutes from July the 24th, 2023. If anyone has any amendments or corrections or thoughts, hearing none, we'll approve those minutes.
I would just like to apologize for my absence.
Oh, there's no need. We understand.
We gotta do microphone.
Then the number 2 item is the chamber tech, update.
So we can shoot online.
Do you have anything to say on that, Mr. Mitchell, or the clerk?
So as you can see,
Yeah.
get these microphones. The company is going to come back and tweak just to make sure that everything is working in order with the camera and the microphone, and the streaming.
Yes, because I saw lagging.
Yeah, there, well, and there
I thought it was
probably
me, I
will,
said, I better lay off of that.
there probably will be some lagging, there almost always is, but notice, and I'm running both of them today, I'm running it off of the old camera and the new camera. I did that at the last commission meeting, just so we can kind of test it, but still have a good one before we get that one removed. So they're gonna make sure everything is good with the new system before we take down the old stuff.
Okay,
They had to leave the,
Your, you know,
Ladder
your
in
microphones are adjustable, you can move them to however.
they had to leave the ladder in here.
That's what
That
makes
was for work
sense.
for, I think, the lights,
This
the
makes
electrician
sense.
was
I
in
mean,
here,
they had to leave it in here though.
that's not mine.
It's just a point blank question. I've always got a problem.
This makes sense to me.
I'm pretty sure that they're coming back.
so, yeah,
That's good.
did they give you a timeline as to when they will be here to tweak it?
No, they're going to, the, main guy that I'm working with had to look at the tax schedule. And this was, when I talked to him was, last week after our meeting, so he's gonna get that scheduled.
So all this means that the citizens can call in now with their concerns,
Congratulations.
huh?
No,
I'm sorry.
Congratulations.
no,
I'm sorry.
Mr. Duncan, no. And please,
I'm sorry.
ask for permission.
Well,
please,
through the chair, I have one last question. When will that be accomplished?
We don't know for sure.
Where citizens can call in with their concerns and suggestions. That's what we wanted it for. And why is it taking so long? Well, you're doing everything else. Why do they sit so high? Because they move around?
Yeah, they're
Yes.
adjustable.
Do you see how I
Okay.
adjusted that?
Okay.
That's cool.
It is
So,
up to date.
when we first started talking about this, we talked about the cameras and how they were supposed to interact with sound. Is that what we're getting ready to tweak it in to do?
Yes,
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Well, that means whoever's speaking, the camera will direct it,
Oh,
Will it
Why
mute
it
off
look like it's
everybody
looking at me?
else?
because you're speaking.
and I believe it does 3
Yeah,
commissioners at a-
3D.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 commissioners at a time, so it's not like it comes right to your face.
no,
This comes in this vicinity.
yeah, but he gets to see who.
And then when somebody is sitting at the presenter table, that camera will pick them up
All
when they
right.
start speaking over here.
okay.
So that camera's not working too well right there.
It does.
I looked at YouTube.
Did you, which one did you watch?
Who knows?
Because there is two, and you can see the presenter view.
Yeah, I saw a little
But
piece
it
of him, but it wasn't.
It was hard to hear,
Oh,
so that's why I wanted to make sure I ran both of them simultaneously.
yeah,
So that we didn't miss anything, so that's what they wanna come back and they wanna make sure that everybody's heard.
It focuses
I
on
have
both.
a question. I'm sorry. While we're on communications, the last Brownfield Authority Board meeting was not recorded, that is totally unacceptable. Each member, if we need to, should know how to just push a button and,
I agree, I think there needs to be more than just me that knows how to run this.
yeah, and I missed the last meeting and it was very disappointing to not be able to.
Yeah, and I
Watch
was, yeah. 'cause I
Well,
wasn't
the
here.
chair of the committee should be able to, they should know how to do that. It's very simple.
It's very
Yes.
simple.
I agree.
And
Chair
for
or
us to go
co-chair.
without transparency,
Exactly.
it might be, not be, something we,
I mean,
they were just doing intentionally, but it sure
Yeah.
looks,
suspect
yeah.
when we don't, because I'm reminded as to, that was one of the things that the emergency manager cut us off from. Communication, so that we wouldn't know who was doing what and what was going on in different committees and stuff. And I just hadn't had strength in to keep up with every meeting and showed up with technology
And it's
to make
hard,
sure that I kept
hard to
everybody
trust.
informed in the community.
it's hard to trust behind incidents like that too. That's why
Exactly.
it seems like we give you guys a hard time about things, but
I mean, Mr. Duncan is absolutely right. That's what's going on with our water. The residents don't trust the water, which is whether the lead lines have been replaced or not. Trust and transparency and accountability.
But that's what our committee has been striving to do. And, so,
Well, we're on our way. Thank you.
we've had this conversation, Mr. Duncan, about, YouTube Live, and that they do have the capacity to take in questions. But we haven't done it yet. And I think that the other commissioners, if there will be questions, there will be comments. And some of the citizens have already figured out if they email the clerk and say, I want this to be, that happens, to be spoken out in public. So, but, and that's going to get more and more as we empower our people with knowledge. So we gotta set up a program where wherever the question comes to, if it's to Commissioner Henry or Commissioner Isom, that they get the question and then they take it upon themselves to answer.
I don't think they can see her actually talking on YouTube. Because sometimes you sound like me and sometimes I sound like you, but you couldn't see it, but now we're showing the whole room.
Okay,
But as you was talking, it was not showing you.
it wasn't, it's not, it needs to be tweaked a little bit.
And there's two different ones running, so make sure that you're on the right, yeah. I have both of them running so that,
So there's two channels.
well, no, there's one channel, but I have them running simultaneously, one from the new cameras and then one from the old camera.
But what do you mean? You have to make sure you're watching the right one.
Correct.
So there's two stations running, two
Right.
channels running.
Right now, there are two videos running at the same time.
Oh.
Basically because I wanna see how the new
Okay.
one is working, and so then the company knows what they need to do
Okay.
when they come in.
Because it's supposed to pick up as she's
Yes,
speaking,
yeah.
even if it's showing three or
Right.
two of us, okay, and so forth.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, so we're gonna work on that. And I do know that the county does it. And, get questions and comments from their constituents, and we have to be more able to do that. So we'll see if we can get some overtime for the clerk, and she can teach the chairs how to do it.
Yeah.
And,
And co-chairs.
and co-chairs, for sure.
and maybe a citizen while you at it.
A citizen's rep.
Yeah, a citizen's
I
rep
mean, it.
or somebody.
No,
It's
no.
a city.
It's city.
Somebody that can be responsible though, because if the city can appoint someone to a board, then surely we can give them approval to make sure that
Well,
we're
most of
recording.
our committees have a commissioner on it, so
Yeah,
That's the way it's set up, so if they're co-chair
Yeah.
and the chair.
Yeah.
Then, they should really reach out, and I'll
And
kind of
then
touch
some
on
of us,
and
if we're
see.
not up here, we're usually out there.
Yeah. Okay. All right,
So Mr. Little isn't joining us this evening?
number
Wow.
three, the third item is the newsletter update. We'll ask Mr. Mitchell to speak on that.
Don't have any updates. Is that
Are we at a point where we're no return with the budget? That none of our recommendations or thoughts about it have been, you just said, no, we don't have it, and we can't do it? Is that what you're saying? Cause we had a conversation, you and I and the treasurer, and I thought that it was a good conversation, and that we all were under the knowledge that we needed this money for communications, and the money was there, and all we had to do was to allocate it to go towards communication and not towards what it was going towards.
But Madam Chair, don't we have to do that by way of resolution? Did you send forth a resolution for us to vote on it?
No, we haven't gotten to that, because we have to wait for the two staff members to come up with a solution to what we're trying to do here.
Oh.
So are you just saying to me, is no, the answer is no, and we're not looking at trying to solve the problem?
we're looking at trying to solve the problem, but right at this time, we don't have a solution.
Do you have a thought on the solution I gave? You can't be looking
What
in,
was the thought you?
was to take that $50,000 that you got in the budget for the basement to be sealed off and use it for communication. That was my first suggestion. I had 4 or 5 other ones, and I'm sure the finance director has them. But if you have said, no, I'm not gonna entertain that, and I'm going to look into something else, I need to know that too.
Madam Chair, I just heard you say that, something about taking 50,000 and sealing off the basement. What is sealing off the basement going to do? The basement needs to be fixed, and I'm sure it's going to take some money
Infrastructure
to
money.
fix the basement up. I mean, that's what we've been told over the years. But I thought the 50,000 was for the running of the paper altogether of communications to get things out to the general public, the residents. So how does that fit in with sealing off the basement?
That's what was in our budget that we approved in
Did that
June.
consist of fixing the basement though? I mean, because surely, I mean, if it hasn't been utilized, it probably smells like a lot of our basements. Like it's been, you know, how something has been closed off for so long and it needs to be painted and all that.
The basement should be, not used. It's been like that for years. But I asked that we reallocate some of that $50,000 to communication. There's gonna be a best bang for our dollar. And, I still haven't gotten the answer if that was definitely not on the radar, or is it absolute no? And we can't do that, or what? I mean, that's been a long time conversation, and that's one reason why we old commissioners get upset when staff don't answer our questions.
Not upset, perturbed is the word.
Commissioner Ison.
Yes, give me clarity on, first, how much is the newsletter again now? I know we talked about this.
I think got to
months
be,
ago, so it's.
yeah, I think
She
it was,
wanted 20 less than Manchester Bidwell a year.
So we,
I think it was in the 40,
that was months ago, though,
I mean,
right?
40,000, I mean, 40,000,
That was months ago.
Right.
yeah.
And what's the basement, now you saying the basement gotta be what?
All I know is in the budget,
Oh,
it's $50,000 for to seal off the basement. That's all the budget lets me know.
To seal it off though,
I can seal it off.
with what functions? I mean, it's gotta be more than just sealing off the basement.
I don't know. No, nobody knows but the city manager and the financial director.
Well, I would need more than that myself, but if I may, Honorable Chair, can we revisit, the budget and have something ready and prepared for Chairman Isom when his, Personnel and Finance Committee meeting comes back up? Because we just approved another grow, facility.
right.
Well, we just issued out another license, and we need to be looking at that money instead of other folks with their unions waiting for money to come in so they can snatch it up. But we need to be doing something for the residents of Benton Harbor. And that's what we need to be allocating some new money towards. And not only that, education, and I'm gonna keep on bringing up Manchester Bidwell, because these people over here, they need something like that in the heart of the city where they live. They don't have desire, if you see, they stay over here all the time. They
Okay,
don't go out there,
okay,
go out to the
Commissioner.
college.
All right, Commissioner,
I'm just saying.
it's so easy to get on our soapbox. But
No,
that's
that's
no, but
communication about funding that you were discussing. Because they could probably learn something about communication as well and helping with the paper.
Well, that's where we at, and the questions are on Mr. Mitchell. Did I answer your question, Mr.
Yes.
Commissioner Isom? Mr. Mitchell, can you please enlighten us on where the process is on the newsletter? And if there is a time frame when you will have something done, we've been waiting a long, long time.
Years.
Uh, We talked about the newsletter, and I do agree that newsletter is good to that, no question. But I also told you there was a situation going on that we need to take care of first.
Which was? Years. What is the first things first? If I may ask, are we privy to know what that is? Mr. Mitchell? Commissioner Henry?
I didn't bring it up after Mr. Mitchell. Cause I might not remember what
I
he's talking
did.
about. All I know
I'm sorry.
is I thought we had a
I'm
potential.
sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Mitchell.
I'll tell you,
That's unfair and we're being recorded. That the residents cannot hear the question that was asked and you're gonna tell me that's not being transparent. And then they gonna hold me accountable.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hear it and you're not.
Government.
can I,
See, that's what I mean. Sometimes it work for us and sometimes it don't.
That's
Well-
not democracy, that's government.
But maybe we ought to jump on Trump bandwagon.
oh,
And give
now we just going overboard here, but if we can't know what it is, why are we still talking about it?
Okay. So, I guess I'm at a standstill here with the newsletter and the importance of the newsletter. So,
And kick the can down the road to your next meeting.
I was just gonna ask the clerk, would she add this to the next month's meeting
Add
and
it to personnel and finance as well.
maybe we'll have,
Can we get an updated price on the newsletter? I know it's been like 6 months at least.
you
Updated,
wanna do your committee?
Want it? $46,800.
month.
$46,800
A month,
a year.
a year?
For what?
Oh,
So that is for bi-weekly publication
that was what?
delivered to every household.
So why did you confuse that with 50,000 just to seal a basement?
Cause that's where the money is.
Oh, okay. Okay, understand.
Is the basement sealed?
46,800.
That should be.
You want that to your committee, Commissioner Icy?
Yes,
It's a perfect conversation in
yes,
personnel and finance.
yep. Can we do that, with a consensus?
Yeah.
Madam Chair?
Beg your pardon?
Yeah, we can shoot it in there, and talk about it, discussion.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
I got in the audience.
I'm tired of discussions. We need action and then holler.
Okay,
So this is gonna happen next month, the beginning of the month, the second week of the month, third week of the month, or the last of the month.
his meeting.
And when is that, Commissioner Ice?
Okay.
Third Wednesday.
Next.
So 3 weeks into next month.
So looking at this, it shouldn't take 3 hours. Because Mr. Little isn't here to discuss or give us what we need from these. Ain't nothing funny, y'all. They gotta laugh while they get that time, huh?
Okay, all right, well, let's, go to item number 4, the broadband. There's a little, Mr. Little gave us a little document on, what's going on with broadband.
Got one for the citizens? Got one? No, I got that, and that. Don't have it.
And
Oh, yes, it is.
they're working on it.
Are you on number 3 or are you on, oh, wait a minute, you say they're working on it.
That's it. There
Okay.
is no specific timetable, but we're looking for funding.
We've approved some funding.
Of course we have.
Okay.
That's for, the administrators.
But there's still questions that need to be asked and answered about that. And through the chair, if I may, I'd like to know, when will we hear from Nokia? You don't just sign an agreement of, a disclosure without somebody that you plan on doing business with or partnering with to at some point come forth and have a conversation to let us know what your plans are. Is that how that works?
That seems like it's a likely thing that it will happen in business.
But it needs to be happening before decisions are made. Because we could be shaking our head or rubber stamping anything that's on paper. I mean,
You won't be rubber stamping.
no, because we need to be asking questions.
We'll bring it to you to see it.
To ask questions, not to see anything.
To ask questions, you have to see it to ask, know what to ask questions.
No, we used to people coming before us, Mr. Mitchell.
Will that happen?
Coming before us and presenting what they want to do business with us for.
You will get a presentation
Okay,
on it.
okay, from them.
Yes.
Okay, from the actual partners.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That was simple. I'm not trying to be difficult.
So when is that gonna happen?
I hope
They don't
so.
have a date yet.
Cause
They're
somebody
working on
moving
it.
behind the scenes and,
They're working on it. And in the same breath, in this report, is a report on Justice 40. And, the organization that is connected to, and I guess they're connected to,
I think I need to disclose something.
no, we need to figure out about this Justice 40.
Okay, well, the Justice 40 initiative is not a program, but right here, I think that Mr. Shoemaker and the city of Benton Harbor, along with another organization, is putting together a program. But overall, it's an initiative for the whole United States, for these billions of dollars, for these communities to find some things that they know will work in their respective communities and put together a program to bring them to fruition so that the government can fund them with some of these billions of dollars that the Bidenomics administration have put together. And not only that, Mr. Shoemaker and Mr. Little now, Benton Harbor was chosen along with another organization that I happen to be affiliated with, and I must disclose that because it's a conflict of interest, and I'll have other board members to take care of that. There are going to be other nonprofits as well that will be coming on board, as I've been mentioning to you guys for years now, even before Mr. Mitchell came up. Myself and some other large organizations across the country have been getting together and have been demanding that the White House, that the government stop sending money through government, not getting stuff done for the communities that need it the most, but in fact, give it to grassroots organizations that are actually doing the work. And now it's about to happen. Stop being in government and folks that think that they in power for stuff. Make it happen on our own.
Okay, so I have a whole different perspective about Justice 40. And I'll leave that to my personal friends and my Heavenly Father. So,
It's a good thing, though.
Presentation with your permission, so that everyone gets to hear.
So there's gonna be
It's a good thing, though.
well, you know, I always have to put my perspective, and I'm gonna put it in. When you go to a group of people that have been historically a no do, no help group of people, and when the money come in, all of a sudden, these people say, oh, we know how to fix it for you. And when I see that and we have no input, it's the same old scenario.
It's like turning lights
What
on
is
and
it?
the roaches come out.
This is what we want to do for you. This is what you need. This is not necessarily what you need, but it's what we feel you need. And when I see the money being generated towards
them.
administrative and no one else there to give them guidance as to what we really need, then I have a problem. And I'm not saying that that's the case, but it surely looks like a duck
I can
and
say,
it quacks like a duck.
I can say it's
And
a
it's
dub.
probably a duck.
Wobbling.
All right, that's all. I'll say my little tidbit on that.
So what are we gonna do about that?
We're gonna wait and ask staff, when staff be able to present it to us. And hopefully we'll have time to digest it and vote one way or the other.
So where do the citizens fit into that?
Through committee meetings. These are what we used to call meat and potato meetings. The citizens would come here and get fed information about what was going on in their city. And that's what we're going back to.
Well,
To
you get mad
empower
because
our-
they didn't get in.
Oh, no, they didn't. It wasn't like that back in the day. The citizens realized how powerful they were. And they worked together. And they made 9 individuals up here and every staff member hear their cry. So we're trying to build a new group of people that's not gonna be afraid and they know their rights. And we're gonna give them information about all the opportunities that are coming to Little Benton Harbor right now. So, thanks anyone for listening to communication. We'll see you. Oh, one thing. Is there anyone that wanna make a comment, ask a question?
Ask your
Anything.
question. I've got a question.
Sure. I missed the the text section, and I'll catch that online, I guess. Although I was trying to listen to the meeting and it wasn't coming through very clearly, so maybe there's still some
There's
issues.
2 streams running right now.
Sorry?
There's 2 streams running right now. With the new camera system and then with the old one. Because the company's going to come do some tweaks. So I wanna make sure that I'm running the new system so they can see what they need to do, but still run the old one
Cool.
so that we can catch everything.
So as a user, both are available?
Yes.
Okay, great. I don't know which one I was on. I think the new one, and there was some just voids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for that explanation.
I'd like to thank you, Mr. Rabbit, I saw you downtown down there, Weed Whack, thank you,
Oh, yeah.
thank you.
You, thank you.
I have a couple other questions or comments that aren't related to this committee. I don't know if this is the place for it or not,
I
but
think
through the chair, I think is the permission.
communication is the chair, yes.
Okay, through the chair to City Manager Mitchell, I guess, there's many things that are of concern, but one would be, it's Labor Day weekend coming up, and there's kind of a hazardous situation related to the roof at the restroom building at Gene Clark Park. And I hope that can be improved upon. I believe you're aware of it, but I'm not certain. There hasn't been any physical movement since the night the roof came off. Part of the membrane, about a
It looks
third
like
of the
some type
building
of
is,
It blew off in the storm.
Blew off.
But when was that? Weeks ago?
it was,
Last Sunday.
Well, I just took pictures last. Okay.
Oh,
So-
there's a process, folks, that things have to go through.
Yeah, yeah,
It has to be reported to the insurance company. But we have to wait until the insurance company comes out and does its
but why
investigation.
can't we take care of it and wait for the reimbursement from him? Because it
It's
could
not
be a
just
hazard
taking
to our
care-
residents or visitors.
It's not just taken care of, they have to see it and they have to evaluate.
I mean, but sometimes we just take pictures and send them to our
So-
insurance company. But my question would be,
That's already been done.
okay, my question would be, doesn't Harbor Shores help to take care of those type of issues as well? Okay. You
So-
answered my question.
No, was the answer.
You told Mr. Duncan.
No, I was talking to you, because I just shook my
She's talking
head.
to you.
No,
I
I
don't
knew
know
you
what-
weren't talking to me. So, the roof is coming off, is this the bathroom?
Yeah.
So, the bathroom's closed down at Jane Clark Park?
The bathroom has, the roof blew off in the storm. We reported it to the insurance company.
I heard.
The insurance company has to come out and investigate and see it as it is before we do anything.
In the
Have they
mean-
been out?
in the meantime,
Yeah.
the bathroom is still available to the public?
Yes,
I don't
they've
know.
been using it,
They've been
yes,
using
they were using it when I was out there. But still, it could be hazardous if
It
a
is
child,
hazardous.
just happens to be playing and some of
Is it
this stuff,
rope, y'all?
it looks like a metal, no, it's not. It looks like a metal that was,
Can we rope it off and keep it safe for any kids or animals or whatever running through the Gene Clark Park? I just thought when it failed, that would be the first thing we do is make it secure for,
Exactly.
we don't have to touch it.
The tarp is
First
not,
thing we have to do is leave it for the investigation.
Can we rope it off so no one could be, the possibility of
pedestrians.
liability?
Yeah.
I mean,
if caution
if it's the
tape,
same, if it's the same way that I saw it, it
Yeah.
needs to be roped off, caution,
tape,
all sorts of
and
things.
some coins.
Plastic.
Cones, yeah, just so people can't do nothing.
So if somebody's child does, we've covered ourselves by having tape and cones up. And if that child runs over there and say they cut themselves, well, you should have been watching your child because you can see that there's hazardous tape and cones that are up. I mean, granted, we waiting on the insurance company and stuff, but if we're liable, then we have to do what we have to do being liable, which would be cones and tape. Agree, Mr. Rabbit? For now,
There is a
Yeah.
single cone there which isn't really doing anything.
one cone.
Yeah.
I bet that's a cone out there by the front of it, at the entrance.
The roof is also, the building's open to any rain, which we're lucky that there isn't any right now. But there is water in the sky, in the lights that are in the overhead. And
Wow, electrical.
We have to leave it until the insurance company does its investigation. I don't know if they have.
Okay, well, it's the beginning of the
I
weekend, you
will-
check
I
and
will-
see.
I will
Close
check
it
on it.
down.
I will have it checked on it tomorrow and give you all the report.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well-
One more.
Can we get paid? Ooh, no,
That's what
I
I'm
was
about to
reading
say. You
something.
don't be
Oh,
reading off of my shirt.
He had his number two
No,
question.
no, you go ahead. I always want to be last because I feel more comfortable there.
Another thing that occurred yesterday? No, must have been Friday. I came to try to meet with the city clerk and she wasn't available, but I waited outside to run into her or another person I was expecting to meet here. And I was confused, but perhaps the city manager can clarify.
You should have asked the city manager. You've had since Friday to talk to him.
I'm sorry?
So you're gonna wait until today?
Uh,
What he's saying is he was out pulling grass. And I told him to hold on. I told him, Steph, tell him to stop. Suppose, just suppose, he hurt himself while he was doing it.
Oh, my goodness.
Pulling grass,
Reaching over the rail, pulling the
oh,
grass
the grass,
out in the front. Now, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you, Mr. Rabbit, I've also gotten a report of you out on Riverview Road, at 9:30 at night, pulling grass. Suppose you got hit by a car.
I don't know, well, may I respond?
Sure, you may.
I don't pull grass.
You cut, no.
I
cut.
was,
Okay.
I do want to ask you, and so I am asking you,
Yeah,
pulling weeds was what I did in
right
the
down here.
garden
right.
area. And through Director Meeks,
Right.
you relayed the message to stop what I
That
was
is
doing.
correct.
So I stopped
So you
pulling
waited
weeds.
until today?
No.
Instead of coming on up and asking me why?
I had a lot of things to do. My meeting didn't happen. I was dumbfounded that I was asked to stop pulling weeds, but I left and I was looking for an opportunity to ask you more about that.
My number one concern is this city. And my number one concern is this city and the liability that falls on this city when something happens,
Okay.
okay?
No, I share that
And
concern.
if you get hurt in any way doing something, you're not gonna say, poor Ben Harper, you're gonna go for the gusto.
I take pretty good care of myself, but your statement, I will turn toward you and talk about the roof and the hazardous condition that we've discussed just a moments ago.
If you wanna talk to me, come to my
I'm
office.
trying to make, I guess, my concerns public because they are concerns of me and they're not the first time I've had these concerns. So,
You had these concerns before about endangering yourself?
not myself, I don't have any fear.
It's not a matter of fear, accidents happen.
Okay, I'll go one more and then I'll just leave it because I'm just trying to communicate. I'm not trying to argue. My concerns are for our city and its current and future. There's an unsafe condition, which is a sidewalk that is buckled and cracked and broken across the street from the substation. It's been a condition that's existed for over 2 years. And I'm not aware, I've reported it, I built a barrier for it so that people could see it if they were riding their bikes, or it was back in the PGA when we had the electric scooters in town. And I marked it, and it's still there. My barricade is down. I don't know why or how, but we have many hazardous conditions in this city, and I don't see them being attended to. I am concerned for that, for us, the
Now,
city.
you need to stop right there.
Okay,
There are many hazardous conditions, but they are being attended to. We can't do them all at one time. I don't even know the one you're talking about.
I will
So
make,
you come in here on Wednesday with these things that have been happening, and I have told you, if you got something, let me know. My office is right here, and I'm here every day, night, weekends.
I have done this, and I will continue to do it. Forgive me for using this venue to voice my concerns. I actually am here only because I could not hear the meeting at home. So I'm taking this opportunity. I am here. I'm voicing a few concerns.
To answer all your concerns, I live right over here.
Thank you very much.
Well, there is another reason. Every time I hear something going on in the city, any dialogue, it always comes back to communication or public relations. So there's another reason why we need our newsletter. We can have conversation and set up a place, because back in the day, the citizens knew who to call to say the sidewalk is buckled. And then they got the information to the right person, the engineers, because we know when Avalanche brings the sidewalks, they're in a specific area, and sometimes it doesn't include the neighborhood. So we gotta set up a communication so the citizens have a way or know who to contact to say, I got a problem.
Well.
And I know the city manager does that. They call his office and give him that information. But the fact is, when I hear citizens say, I've been over here and I've called and I've been here and have no response, they let me know that maybe there is a little problem there.
Breakdown in
Yeah,
communication.
so
Okay.
that's another reason why we need communication and public relations. And if there's no more questions, Mr. Duncan?
I want to make a statement, and that's that in the 23 years that I've been back, in 24 years that I've been back in Ben Harbor, I wish that I could find out of 9,000 some more folks in Ben Harbor, 99 more to do what this man does. And volunteering to bend over to pick up anything that looks out of place. But we do have to be careful.
All right, let's leave. Mr. Duncan, do you have your last
Yeah,
comment?
because when it comes to what people do, it's better than not doing nothing. And I thank you, because I guess we're about the only ones that actually will bend over and pick up something. And I come to these meetings on Wednesday, I'll sidestep a Monday because I know you guys are oh so busy. And I never get questions answered anyway. And I see other citizens will come and don't get theirs answered either. So Wednesday night, expect for citizens to come, especially while you don't have the, are you finished now?
No, I'm listening.
Especially since the system of us being able to communicate through, live or however, expect us to be here on Wednesday. Expect to answer some of our questions because that's the only reason why we come. Don't get all uppity with us. We do work. And I thank you because I do it myself. I pick it up. Out here, okay, speaking of problems, right out in front of the building is tripping hazards where the sidewalk is all cracked up. Raised up from each other. We shouldn't have to ask for things like that. It's for them to even fix the part what they did down there.
Okay, we're gonna find a way for the citizens to get those reports because we're not in the neighborhoods all the time, but you are. So you see it. So we're gonna find a way to communicate that
Together with each other.
for each, yeah.
Yeah, but
And-
if
and-
y'all getting upset with us about asking a question,
No,
and
we're
this
not.
is a
No,
major
not at
problem
all.
that y'all, okay.
Look, I've had somebody
No, we're not.
comment me and like, you didn't return my call, and it's not a good feeling to have a resident coming at you every day.
Commissioner Ison,
Yes, sir.
can you help us?
You in your meeting?
Trying to help.
And I said Mr. Duncan was the last to speak unless
Well,
Commissioner Isom.
You guys closed the
wants to say
meeting down, so we just talking
She
now.
hasn't closed.
You,
No, nothing. to
oh,
say.
nothing to say, then the meeting is adjourned.
I
Thank
don't
you
know
for
hold
coming.
you guys up, but I don't want you guys to think hold us up with our communication